For Southern Miss Today, this is a party of less than 10, with me, Hannah Houston. On March 12th, USM announced that it would be extending spring break for an extra week to take precautions against the spread of the coronavirus. Soon after, the university announced all of our classes would be moving online as well. I was already excited about the break because I had a full week of travel and camping prepared. 2 of my closest friends and I were going to meet in Phoenix, Arizona to do some hiking, see some concerts, including Group Love and Lauren Sanderson.
So originally our trip was supposed to mostly take place in Arizona. We were going to drive to Phoenix, Arizona, meet one of our friends, go to a concert, and then go to the Grand Canyon, Antelope Canyon, and maybe a few other places in Arizona.
I was supposed to drive with Ruby to meet Sky at the Phoenix airport. Sky was supposed to be flying in from Washington State. However, the governor of Washington, Jay Inslee, called for a state of emergency because of COVID-19. Ruby and I were nervous.
So because of the coronavirus, we were no longer able to meet up with our friend in Arizona due to her being from Washington, where, one of the biggest outbreaks of the coronavirus is. So she ended up not coming just for the safety of herself, for us, and for others.
Sky was nervous.
I decided not to meet in Phoenix because I felt really guilty about coming from a state that was really red because of all the cases that we had and spreading it to people who have weaker immune systems.
The virus started spreading rapidly in the U.S., and the CDC was urging against crowds. Group Love and Lauren Sanderson both released videos stating they would be postponing their tours. Ruby and I still went traveling, using the advantage that it was just the 2 of us on a camping trip with minimal social contact involved. Our plans changed dramatically, but we knew we had to observe safety measures against COVID-19. So, here we are, on the road, Ruby's driving, and I'm the DJ. We've pushed the long way through Texas today, and tonight we'll stop in Blanca, Colorado.
We're currently in Colorado. Tomorrow we're gonna head out to the Great Sand Dunes National Park, which is probably about 10-15 miles from where we're staying at tonight. We're gonna stay there for a couple hours, then head to the Garden of the Gods, a little bit farther up north in Colorado. And then after that, I don't really know yet. Just kind of planning it as I go.
The next day, Ruby and I set out for an adventure at the Great Sand Dunes National Park. We hiked half of the way to the tallest dune before becoming too wind-whipped and tired. There were not many people on the dunes, and there was plenty of room to stay far apart from one another. The National Parks Service has closed down most visitor centers, but is still allowing guests into the parks as long as they follow social distancing guidelines. That afternoon, we drove north to the Garden of the Gods Park, where there were even signs posted showing diagrams of exactly what the 6 feet apart rule looks like. And they weren't just paper flyers either. They were printed on metal, just like regular street signs.
It was really just me and Hannah the whole time. We didn't really come into contact with other strangers. And when we did, we were very mindful of the whole 6 feet apart rule. But yeah, we just pretty much took all precautionary measures that we could with Germ-X, hand sanitizer. We took vitamins every day to boost our immune system. We did airborne tablets and stuff like that.
Ruby and I have road tripped together before. Even though now our trip is built around social distancing and safe health practices, our typical camp trips like this are usually just a party of 2. The most contact we have on the road is normally with a gas station pump.
We didn't really come into contact with a bunch of people, and when we did come into contact with people, we used Germ-X, we washed our hands, we used Lysol wipes. Whenever we would stop and get gas at gas stations, we would use Lysol wipes when pumping our gas, entering in our card, entering in our keypad. And then after that, we would get Lysol wipes and, wipe down everything in the car, wipe down our phone screen, just anything that we had touched.
Ruby and I were easily falling back into our routine of daytime driving, setting up the tent at night, making campfires, and exploring each area in the morning.
Good morning.
Until we ran into some problems.
We ended up getting stuck in a blizzard in Colorado, which was pretty fun. We went through Breckenridge and Vail, and then we went to Utah.
Ruby let me drive the leg of the trip between campsites at the Garden of the Gods and the Colorado National Monument because an actual blizzard had taken over the highways. Neither of us had ever seen snow like this before. The roads were covered in ice, snow piled up on the roads and on everything we could see, which wasn't much at some points when the wind carried sheets of white in front of us, blocking our view. Signs along the highway urged drivers to pull over and to apply chains to their tires. Of course, the two of us, from Mississippi, had no concept of how to put a chain on a tire and were too scared of pulling over and having our small rental car get snowed in. We kept driving. At this point, we were worried about what to do. We thought we might not make it back home, and not just because of the blizzard.
Some of my fears, like my biggest fears, were definitely just like getting like stuck in like a state where I didn't know anyone. And I like to think that I'm a very like independent person, but also I just feel like if I would have gotten like stuck in a state where like I didn't know anyone, like I couldn't get home because of the borders closed, like I don't think that I think I would have kind of freaked out a little bit.
We had friends calling us, telling us rumors that state borders would close. While Ruby was right to be worried about getting stuck because of the blizzard or of the virus, I was content. If I had to be stuck anywhere, I would love it to be in my tent watching the stars. That thinking, unfortunately, could only last me so long.
Obviously, like, we're going to run out of supplies and we're going to need stuff, so then we're going to have to go into, like, these stores and, like, all this stuff. So it's, like, how do we continue to, like, protect ourselves from the virus while also, like, you know, having to try to continue to live everyday life while not having, like, the normal resources of, like, everyday life.
We made it out of the blizzard and camped for the night at the Colorado National Monument, close to the Utah border. It wasn't snowing there, but we set up the tent in freezing rain. When I woke up that morning, there were ice pellets that looked like Dippin' Dots along the edge of the tent. The good thing was, the view was amazing from the top of the monument. The morning fog rolled out as the sun came up, and Ruby and I shared some tasty hash browns over the fire.
It's fun being on the open road, seeing all the change of scenery, which is only like 300 miles apart, so it's kind of crazy.
Thankfully, the campsites along the way back home would be behind the storm and in the sunshine. The hard problems now were just tedious things.
Cold showers, those are not fun. You know, not always having a campsite that has a shower or a campsite that you can wash your dishes.
Despite the obstacles that made the trip difficult, I still feel alive when I'm on the road. Camping, for me, is my happy place. Ruby and I love climbing the mountains, seeing wild horses in the desert, and just chasing adventure and challenge.
I like the daily life that you live, like, when you're camping, because it's like, instead of waking up to, like, an alarm, like, in the morning or something, like, your body just kind of naturally wakes up when, like, the sun rises, and you kind of just make your own rules. You kind of, like, you go to bed when the sun sets. Camping is just kind of freeing. Like, you don't really have to, like, set your life to, like, social norms.
The two of us made it back to Hattiesburg, and Sky is safe in Washington. The question now is how the party will continue.
It feels really overwhelming and a little hopeless because it's really about, like, taking it seriously and who's not.
Everyone feels a little helpless, like, during this whole coronavirus thing because, you know, the only way really to prevent yourself from getting it is to social distance yourself, and, you know, social distance yourself is not fun.
This has been a party of less than 10 with me, Hannah Houston, for 7 Miss Today.